Have you ever struggled with creating a vision for yourself? Do you sometimes feel frustrated that the people around you are setting and achieving goals while you're still feeling uncertain of even where to begin? If so, you're going to love today's episode of What to Say Now. Welcome to What to Say Now. It's episode number 33, if you can believe it. Wow, it's amazing to me that we're 33 episodes into this crazy web show. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m., I go live with some topics on the content of language. Like, it's so important for us to spend a little time understanding that there's really two conversations always going on. There's the conversation we're having with other people, and then the conversation we're having with ourselves, right? Today's episode, we're going to talk about the internal conversations that we have with ourselves, and we're going to help you cut through some clutter. So let me ask you a question. And as I do this, I see we've got some people showing up. I am going to pay attention here to the chat. Would love to engage with you in the commentary here as we go. So this morning, I had a conversation that I'm going to share with you. Now, some of you know I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started multiple companies over the course of my career. Some have gone extraordinarily well, and some have just been failures. And one thing that happens as your hair starts to turn gray is people start to turn to you for advice, right? And since my hair is this gray, people have been doing this for a while now. So I had this chat earlier where someone reached out to me and they said, hey, can I ask your advice about a few things? How did you achieve X? Like, whatever it is. And as I was being asked this question, it caused me to really think internally, like, gosh, how did I do that? Where did that come from? How did I pull all these things together seemingly to do this? And what I realized in this conversation is that without absolute clarity of what your purpose is, it's really hard to get there. So, in short, if you're not certain about what your goal is, you're almost certain never to get there, right? Does that make sense? So here we are, just barely into the new year. And so many people are still figuring out, well, gosh, what am I going to get done this year? And this is why I wanted to go live on this topic today, because I think there's way too much clutter here. I think there's a myth that for us to achieve success at a very high level, we need extraordinary amounts of complication. We don't. That's the real good news. What we need are three things, okay? We need a goal that's clearly defined that we understand, and then we need an understanding that our actions do one of two things. They move us towards the achievement of that goal, or they move us away from it. There's no other route. We're either moving towards or away from the achievement of any specific goal at every moment of our lives. So this is a very important thing for us to realize, because we live in an age where everyone is constantly clamoring for our attention. There are a million things we could be paying attention to. And, every now and then you'll have a conversation with someone, and you'll find yourself realizing some things that you understand, but you don't really put voice to. That's what happened to me earlier today with the conversation that I had. Because looking back on my career, I never knew all the sorts of things that I would accomplish. I just knew that I had a goal, and I followed the path that led me to achieve that goal. So about 7 years ago, I wrote a blog post called Follow Your Fascination. And I'm going to encourage you, instead of saying, oh, should I do this or that, to really think about what are the things that you're fascinated by. How is it that the achievement of your goal would allow you to spend more time living in that space, being fascinated? Hey, Eddie, great to see you here. Happy New Year to you. And then it's about building that path from where you are to where you want to go. So let me break that down here. You have a clear goal, a big vision, a mission for yourself. And I'll share mine. 2 years ago, I set a plan, 5 years and $50 million, right? So 5 years is pretty easy to understand, and 50 million is also pretty easy to understand. And here I am 2 years in right? Almost 2 years in on that path towards achieving the goal. And I'm very happy to report that as like astronomical as that goal sounds, it's been set in a way that I really, oh, wow. Thank you, Brian, sharing that old blog post. Follow your fascination. It's absolutely important. So I'm getting pulled away, a little distracted here. I'll stay on track. When you know what your big vision is, if you set a goal for yourself and you say 5 years, 50 million, that's my goal. Well, as opportunities enter your life, it's really simple for you to say, oh, this doesn't support the achievement of my goal. I'm not going to give it any time. Or this absolutely does. You've got to trust your brain here, because it will make unconscious connections for you really quickly behind the scenes. And that prompted the conversation I had earlier. It was, how did you possibly figure out that you could even negotiate that type of deal? And I thought, I wasn't even really thinking about it. I didn't propose it. It was just an opportunity that seemed to appear, right? So, this is where we have to rely on our faith a little bit. If we set a big goal, if we make a big vision for ourselves and we stay focused on achieving it over a period of time, you will naturally become aware of opportunities around you that you would have missed if you didn't have that big vision, right? So now we're gonna bring this down. Like, we got to take this high level approach and narrow it down to a really small focus, because many of us have to have a short-term goal that needs to be achieved before we can get to the big achievement of the longer-term goal, right? That's tricky because, when you look at, well, by this particular date, I need to have closed so many transactions to be on par for achieve that goal. And all of a sudden that date's coming and you're not where you thought you would be. It's easy to say, oh, well, the plan I had wasn't working. That's not what you need to do. You need to clarify, simplify, define the daily actions you can take that will help you achieve that goal, and then consistently put them in place, right? So here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to invite you, anybody who's watching this now, go to happygrasshopper.com/webinar. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., I'm hosting a webinar on this topic. I'm going to get really detailed about the simplicity of achieving astronomical goals. So I'll show you firsthand that you already have all the people in your life you need to achieve whatever level of success you start for yourself. So please join me there, happygrasshopper.com/webinar. Register for it. It will be via Zoom. I'll run that tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't make it, register anyway so I can share the recording with you. So Greg Moore, I see you there. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. I love that you guys are tuning in today. It is almost 10 after 2. I didn't set aside like massive amount of times to do this today. Hello, Red. Great to see you there. I love that you're tuned in again as well. Here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we're going to break down. We're going to make this really simple. I'm going to show you how you can set a massive goal for yourself and then use the clarity of that goal to help you make decisions of whether every opportunity is moving you towards or away. So I'll see you tomorrow at 2. And in the meantime, let's get back to work. See you, everybody.